Hey guys, it's Sheri Richerson from Experimental Homesteader Exotic Gardening, SheriRicherson.com, and biannualblogathonbash.com, and welcome to our daily vlog. Yesterday morning, I went over to Kevin's. He was getting rid of his cast iron collection, and he had enough pieces he was letting go that it filled the back seat of the Cobalt, and I had one piece that had to sit on the floorboard. So I brought those home, and some of it was brand new. He had never seasoned it or done anything other than take it out of the box. So, and some of it had a little bit of rust on it. So I've got a lot of cleaning up of cast iron to do. And then Jeff has to figure out where we're going to hang the cast iron because my cast iron wall is full. So, and then there's a few pieces that are not going to hang that I've got to try to find some cabinet space for. And that might be a bit of a challenge. Last night, Jeff got off work late, and he was trying to get Aunt Al to our bank and get some paperwork faxed because our bank does it for free. And she had to actually sign the paperwork in front of witnesses. And this was for her Air Force spouse check. So anyway, he couldn't go, and while Jeff was trying to get the kitchen cleaned up and I was trying to work on the blog, a friend of mine called and she offered to buy us supper. So I went and picked up the money, and then Jeff made an order with Domino's for pizza and pasta, because he wanted to stay home and watch a movie instead of actually going out to get something. So we had the order, and he had gone out to get in the van to go pick it up, and a big red fancy truck pulled in the driveway. And Aunt Al got out and went over to the van to get him, and she had brought her lawyer to our house, who, by the way, isn't a lawyer. She has a law degree, but she hasn't passed the bar. But she's posing as a lawyer, which I am pretty sure is illegal to do. And basically, Aunt Al has got in her head, because we were going to our bank to have the paperwork faxed, that we were either going to force her to open a new bank account, or we were going to try to swindle her out of her money somehow. So she wanted her lawyer to see the paperwork. So Jeff gave it to her and explained that we knew that our bank would fax for free. We did not know if her bank would fax for free, and to our knowledge, there's no place in town anymore that will send faxes. I don't have a fax machine hooked up anymore because we don't have a home phone line. So I couldn't do it from here. And I'm not sure where my old fax machine is or if it even works. So I couldn't even take my old machine to Aunt Al's and try to hook it up and see if we could do it that way. But either way, everybody and their brother has got 2 cents to tell Aunt Al on what she should be doing and how she should be doing it. And because they're not doing it, well, we must be taking advantage of her. And I'm really sick of it. Really sick. To the point that I'm done helping. I'm just done. And the police have been called out, and she's had lawyers come to her house, and I tried to tell her when Uncle Jerry died that there was paperwork that had to be done, and the paperwork had to be sent in. The companies had to go through the paperwork, and it was a process. She was not going to have a check the next day. It was going to take time, and there was going to be paperwork involved because the companies want to be sure that everything's on the up and up. And she doesn't seem to understand this. She is unable to write her own checks. So somebody has to do that for her. And she doesn't understand what the checks are that are being written. So you can tell her what they are, but she can't figure it out for herself. And so when the police came out, I told them they could look at her checkbook. The only things that have been written, the only money that has been spent are for her bills. Her house payment, her life insurance payment, her utility payments, her phone bill and TV, those kind of things. And they're throwing a fit because she's gave us gas money over the last several months that we have been running them every place. Quite literally, I was making 50 stops a day, taking her here and taking her there and bringing her home and taking her back and going here and going there. Okay? But her neighbor has convinced her that it was unfair for her to give us any kind of gas money because we should have been supplying that because it was our vehicle and our responsibility. So I disagree with that. I applied to Lyft. I was approved to be a driver for them, and I could have just as easily been driving people around in my car and actually getting paid good money for it. Instead, I was driving her around, and she was giving me maybe $60 at a time when they got paid every month, and if we ran out of gas, I was putting our own money in for that. So I don't feel that this was unfair, because the only place I would have been going is to pay the bills and to work and back. And during this time, we also both lost a lot of work because I had to lose work to run her around. And to be fair, I help a lady out. I volunteer to help a lady out, but I have my online work, and that pays me, and it pays me good money. And Jeff had to actually leave his factory job and come home. He is now out of vacation days. He is into his points, and it really upsets me because he doesn't get any more vacation time until May 1st. So we have a lot of months to go where hopefully he doesn't get sick, I don't get sick, nothing happens that he needs time off, because now we're to the point that it could cost him his job. And the thanks we are getting for it is her running around to everybody and their brother, complaining and wanting everything looked at multiple times by multiple people to get multiple opinions. And so, like I said, I'm done. I told Jeff he can do what he wants. I have 2 doctor's appointments that I promised I would take her to, and I'm going to keep my word. But that's it. So anyway, what happened? Jeff finally came home with the food, and he was upset, and we got into it, and I ended up sleeping in the car last night because I said, I've really had enough. After the big ordeal, she stood outside hugging on Jeff and telling him she loved him and all of this stuff, and it was like I was a piece of shit. So I've just had it. Jeff did not come up for air and say anything to anyone that while he has been doing most of the paperwork because his handwriting is better, that I'm the one not working the majority of the time, and I'm the one doing all the running, and I'm the one that has sat over there and listened to her complain every single morning, threatening to throw the life insurance check in the trash. She has been burning everything from birth certificates to trying to burn the death certificate on, and because she doesn't need it. She doesn't need it, and she doesn't want it. And trying to convince her that these are really important pieces of paper that she needs to keep a hold of and that she needs to stop doing this with. We go over and she's got stacks of stuff that she's throwing out front for people to just pick up as they pass by, or stacks of stuff that she wants us to get rid of for her. And I've had to take my truck over because she threw a whole bunch of stuff in her yard one day, and that had to be cleaned up. And then I ended up leaving the flashers on the truck, and my truck battery is no good. Jeff is going to try to take it to AutoZone and see if it will charge. We've also got to take the Plymouth battery to AutoZone to see if it'll charge, because I tried to drive the Plymouth the other day and it wouldn't do anything but click. So it's been a mess around here, and I'm not very happy. I don't think Jeff is very happy. And like I said, I'm just stepping back at this point. I don't know what else to do. I don't know how to continue to help somebody that doesn't trust you and doesn't really want your help and wants to do it their way. And, you know, I've just kind of had it. When the police were called, she threw a fit because I hadn't been over for 2 days. Jeff hadn't stopped. One night, Jeff hadn't stopped. And we had abandoned her, even though she has a phone and she could call us. So, like I said, I'm really done, because this is excessive, this is upsetting, and I don't need this kind of stress in my life. So anyway, guys, that's been my last 24 hours. And please subscribe. Thumbs up, thumbs down, comments below if you've dealt with somebody like this and you've got a suggestion for me. Leave it below, because I'm all ears. I'd really like to know how you deal with somebody like this and keep your sanity. So anyway, thanks for watching and have a good night.